Hello guys, I'm Aika Gulshan and today I'm going to discuss hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism and difference between them. First of all, a little bit anatomy of thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is present in front and below to the larynx and it has right lobe, left lobe and isthmus in between them connecting the two lobes. And what is hypothalamus, pituitary and thyroid axis? These three organs are connected with each other as you can see in the figure. Hypothalamus secretes thyroid-releasing hormone which comes to the anterior pituitary gland where it stimulates the production of thyroid-stimulating hormone, and this TSH comes to the follicular cells of the thyroid gland where it stimulates the release of thyroxine T4 and T3 triiodothyronine. These two hormones are going to increase the metabolism, growth and maturation, and this T3 is also going to inhibit the production of thyroid-stimulating hormone by negative feedback loop. Here the thyroid synthesis process in the thyroid gland. This is the follicular cell and this is the lumen of the follicle and this is the blood vessels present around the follicular cells. From the nucleus, DNA is transcribed and then translated into the thyroglobin protein. This thyroglobin protein is exocytosed into the lumen of the follicle. And then from the blood, iodide is transported by sodium iodide sympater, and this iodide is transported through the pendrin into the lumen. And here the thyroid peroxidase enzyme causes iodination of the thyroglobin, and then again by this enzyme thyroid peroxidase coupling is done to form T4 and T3 molecule which are bound to thyroglobin, and then this molecule is endocytosed and it comes into the lumen of the follicular cell where the lysosomal proteolysis is done and pure T4 and T3 hormones are released into the blood through MCT8 transporter. So what was the role of thyroid stimulating hormone which was secreted from the anterior pituitary gland in the production of the thyroxine? So it causes increased production of thyroglobin synthesis and it causes increased activity of thyroid peroxidase which was required for the iodination and coupling, and it causes increased activity of iodide pump so that more iodine can enter into the follicular cell, and it causes increased sodium potassium ATPase activity which increase the capacity for iodide intake, and thyroid stimulating hormone favors a shift to more T3 form relative to T4 under acute increase in metabolic demand. So it increased the conversion from T4 and T3. In the diagram you can see thyroid stimulating hormone. It is coupled with the G protein GS which causes increased production of cyclic AMP, and through this mechanism it is going to activate the pendrin which causes increased iodide uptake from the follicular cell into the lumen, and it causes increased endocytosis of the iodinated thyroglobin from the lumen into the follicular cell, and it also causes increased activity of thyroid peroxidase as we have discussed. So the mechanism of action of the thyroxine. Thyroxine is lipid-soluble hormone which binds to thyroxine binding protein and it goes into the cell where it converted into the T3 form triiodothyronine which binds to the binding protein, and when there is necessity T3 is converted into free form and then it goes into the nucleus and binds to the DNA response element. Other coactivators are also going to bind with it, and then DNA is transcribed into the messenger RNA which is translated into the proteins which are going to produce thyroid hormone response. And what is its functions? Little bit physiology. Thyroid hormone are going to increase the metabolism by increased hydrolysis of the ATP. It play a role in the growth and development of the central nervous system and other system also. It increase the catecholamine effects, means it is going to produce the response like sympathetic system. And first of all we are going to discuss the hyperthyroidism. It means increased thyroxine level in the blood. For increased energy metabolism, more ATP is needed which is produced from lipolysis and proteolysis, and due to these lipolysis and proteolysis, hyperlipidemia produce weight loss and decrease in muscle mass, and for this metabolism more oxygen is needed which is going to cause hyperventilation, and from this metabolism more heat is produced which is going to cause hyperthermia and sweating. From increased proteolysis there is accelerated breakdown of the VLDL and LDL which are going to stimulate bile secretion, and there is decreased VLDL and cholesterol in the body, and carbohydrate metabolism is also increased and which cause stimulation of the glycogenolysis and gluconeogenesis so that more glucose is produced, and this glucose is going to convert in ATP and ATP causing increased metabolism. And accelerated growth in the children and bone metabolism is also increased. From this metabolism hypercalcemia is produced and also leading to increased calcium level in the urine, and osteoporosis is the result. And in the brain neuromuscular excitability is increased causing hyperreflexia, tremor, insomnia and muscle weakness just like sympathetic system. And in Graves' disease especially retrobulbar inflammation is seen causing exophthalmos, tear flow, light sensitivity and diplopia. And in liver, breakdown of steroid and drugs are going to increase. And it is also going to act on the heart, with causing the stimulation of the heart, causing increased cardiac contractility, which are going to increase the stroke volume, and cardiac output is also increased. And because there is more oxygen consumption, so decrease in the level of oxygen, causing vasodilation, and this vasodilation also causes reflex tachycardia. Due to this reflex tachycardia, cardiac output are also going to increase, causing increased blood pressure and amplitude, just like we see in the sympathetic system. And due to this tachycardia, atrial fibrillation produce and other cardiac arrhythmias. Due to increased oxygen consumption, erythropoiesis is going to increase so that more blood cells can compensate the deficiency of oxygen. And because the blood pressure is increased, more blood flow towards the kidney, increasing the glomerular filtration rate, which is going to decrease the sodium reabsorption and decrease production in the urine. And in the intestine, it causing direct stimulation of the intestinal musculature, causing diarrhea. And these are the symptoms which are going to produce hair loss, bulging eyes, because due to sympathetic hyperstimulation of the superior tarsal muscle, also called Muller muscle, present in the upper eyelid, which cause the upward movement of the lid. And due to this hyperstimulation, lid lag and bulging eyes are produced. Hair loss, sweating, enlarged thyroid gland, rapid heartbeat, nervousness, heat intolerance, irritability, tremors of the hand, difficult sleeping, warm moist palms, scant menstrual period, oligomenorrhea, infertility, muscle weakness, weight loss, frequent bowel movement, and soft nails. Mostly are just like we see in the sympathetic system activation. And now we are going to discuss the hypothyroidism. In hypothyroidism, there is decreased level of the thyroxine in the blood. And this is the pathophysiology. As we have discussed the normal function of the thyroid, which is increased metabolism, growth and development, and increased activity of the catecholamine. In hypothyroidism, you are going to see decrease in this level. First of all, metabolism is going to decrease, so less heat is going to produce, which cause sensitivity to cold, and due to decrease need of the diet to produce less amount of ATP, because metabolism is reduced, no ATP is needed, so appetite is going to reduce. Because metabolism is reduced, oxygen consumption is also reduced, so no need of more blood cells, so erythropoiesis is also going to decrease. Because the heat is going to produce less, so sebaceous and sweat gland activities also decrease, causing dry and scaly skin. And due to this decreased metabolism, delayed breakdown of the VLDL and reduced bile secretion, causing increased VLDL and cholesterol in the body, and reduced lipolysis causes overweight, and intestinal material is also going to decrease due to decreased catecholamine effect on the musculature directly, causing constipation and reflex esophagitis. And in the children, we are going to see retard longitudinal growth and delayed epiphyseal fusion. And because we have discussed that these hormones have role in the development of the CNS and skeletal system. So somatotropin release is going to decrease, causing small stricture, especially in cretinism. And in the liver, you are going to see decreased protein synthesis, decreased elimination of the drug, glycogenolysis is going to decrease, gluconeogenesis is going to decrease, causing hypoglycemia in the blood. And in case of heart, you are going to see decreased cardiac contractility and bradycardia, causing decreased cardiac output and decreased blood pressure. So due to decreased blood pressure, less blood flow towards the kidney, causing decreased renal blood flow and glomerular filtration rate, causing increased salt and water retention, which are also going to cause edema. And there is a condition called mixed edema, and this is due to deposition of glycosaminoglycan and hyaluronic acid, which are the component of connective tissue, are going to deposit under the cutaneous, subcutaneous tissues, and also under some viscera like larynx, and producing hoarseness of the voice and puffed up the face. This condition causes mixed edema. And there is also decreased neuromuscular excitability, causing sensory disturbances and hyporeflexia, lack of drive, depression, and clouded consciousness. And in the neonate, it is going to decrease development of the CNS, causing impaired cerebral development. The symptom of the hypothyroidism: enlarged thyroid called goiter, because the thyroid hormone are produced less, causing less negative feedback effect on TSH. TSH produce more and cause the enlargement of the follicles of the thyroid. And puffy face and eyes, swollen legs, big tongue, infertility, heavy menstruation, dry and coarse skin, decreased hearing, loss of eyebrow hair, and men with breast, drowsiness, cool feeding, and developmental delay, brain. Now you can stop the video and can compare the symptoms of hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. Now we will discuss what can be the causes of these conditions. Here you can see, starting from the hypothalamus, there may be hypothalamic lesions. Coming towards the pituitary, there may be pituitary insufficiency or pituitary tumor. Coming towards the follicle, in the follicle, thyroid stimulating hormone receptor, which can be overstimulated by TSI, thyroid stimulating antibodies, in case of autoimmune disease. And there may be stress causing abnormal release of the TSH. There may be carrier defects in the iodide, sodium is important. There may be iodine deficiency or iodine excess. There may be peroxidase deficiency causing iodination and coupling. There may be cell damage by the tumor and inflammation causing decreased production. There may be genetic defect, iodine excess and lithium. There may be defective conversion from T4 to T3 hormone. There may be receptor defect causing decreased response of these hormones.